Hey folks, Dr. Baker here. Let's talk a little bit about sweet things. So there's a lot of information about, should we be consuming natural sweets, fruits, honey, maple syrup, things like that? What about sugar sweetened beverages? Some people say, well, it's all about calories. It doesn't matter if we consume them or not. As long as we consume them within a caloric limit, we're fine. There's other people say, it's wildly addictive. And so, first of all, there are people out there who say that sweet things are not addictive. Well, there's a lot of research that would point to the fact that they actually are. And a lot of animal studies, including this one from 2007, showed that when you fed animals sweets and withdrew them, they went through significant withdrawal symptoms, very similar to someone withdrawing from a drug addiction. We know that low carbohydrate diets have been shown to decrease binging and addictive behaviors. And this is something I see within this community, this carnivore community in particular. If you'd like to check out any of the studies, we're going to put them in the description if you want to read those later. All right, some people will say that, sweets will just help you, like the sugar industry will say that sweets will help us to lower stress and cravings and we'll feel better. However, many studies show that actually consumption of sweetened foods and sugar will actually elevate our cortisol levels for a period of time. When that's stimulated chronically via, chronically eating, something sweet every few hours, which many people do, it leads to different problems with our hormone systems. And so we can have things like, excessive weight gain, inflammation, thyroid dysfunction, things of that nature. Now, some people say, well, again, sweets, they're just food like anything else. It's just calories, and they have no impact on increasing or decreasing our satiety or hunger hormones. That, again, is false. Studies have shown that sugar consumption can negatively impact leptin, and it can increase our appetite beyond what some other foods would do. This lack of satisfaction at a meal will often lead to overeating. And again, overeating over time leads to unwanted weight gain, obesity, binge cycles, insulin resistance, and on and on and on. Again, a low-carb diet often can be shown to reduce some of these binging and overeating behaviors. Natural sugars do not contribute to insulin resistance. Now, again, this is, not correct because, again, eaten at a certain point, natural sugars, just like added sugars, can lead to insulin resistance. A review of the research shows that excessive intake of sugar of any form is a key factor in contributing to insulin resistance. And so, particularly if you're already on that spectrum, pre-diabetic, hyperinsulinemic, then all this added sugar, including sugar from fruit, can be problematic, and particularly if you eat it over and over again. Honey and maple syrup are found in nature, and therefore our ancestors would have eaten lots of it, and therefore it's completely okay for us to eat it. Now remember, how do you harvest honey or maple syrup in the wild? It's quite difficult and quite time consuming and energy intense to do something like that. Now we have giant processes. You can get a little jar of honey with a little bear-shaped thing in there, and you can get, that by walking to the grocery store or even have it delivered to your home now. And so the amounts in which we have access to are nowhere near what our ancestors, if they even got it at all, would have consumed that. It's something would have been eaten fairly infrequently through much of our development as human beings. Modern beekeeping, which began around 10,000 years ago, prior to that, not much as far as getting honey, and then maple syrup extraction, which began in the 1500s, even less. And so this isn't something that we did on a regular basis. Okay, here's another thing. Non-caloric, or AKA artificial sweeteners, are completely harmless. Again, this is a very, very controversial topic. We do know that in some cases they have an impact on our gut hormones, insulin secretion, depending on the particular, non-nutritive sweetener. Some of these artificial sweeteners do have calories in them. They're often cut with things like maltodextrin, and they will have an impact on our gut microbiome. Now, like I said in other videos, everything literally has an impact on our gut microbiome. Is that deleterious or not? That is debatable. But again, probably if you can avoid it, completely, then that's a good idea. Is it better than eating, pounds and pounds of, or, bottle after bottle of Coca-Cola? Arguably that's the case too. But again, that is something that you should keep in mind as something you might want to avoid. All right, guys, so those are some thoughts on sweets. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Studies should be linked in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with somebody you think might find some benefit from this. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.